Something huge is happening right now in the way we make, use, and even think about, well, everything we own. We're starting to move away from this disposable world we've built and into a more sustainable one. And it all boils down to two really big ideas: redesign and reinvent.
Have you ever had that feeling you buy a brand new phone, a new appliance, whatever, and it feels like almost on cue, it just gives up the ghost right after the warranty is up? Or the next shiny new model comes out and suddenly yours feels like a dinosaur. It's so frustrating, right? But here's the thing, it's not an accident. It's actually a feature of our current economy. For, gosh, decades now, we've been running on this super simple but also incredibly wasteful model. We take resources out of the ground, we make stuff, and then when we're done with it, we just throw it away. It's a one-way street, straight from the factory to the landfill.
But what if there's another way? A better way? What if we could actually design products that are meant to last? Products that can be repaired, upgraded, and then, at the very end of their life, be completely recycled. Now, this isn't just some nice idea for a greener planet. It's a massive business opportunity just waiting to be grabbed.
And that brings us to our first major point here. The linear economy is hitting a dead end. This whole system of just constant consumption and disposal, it's just not working anymore. Not for business and certainly not for the planet. And look, this is about way more than just overflowing landfills. Every single time we throw a product away, we're also tossing out all the valuable materials, all the energy, and all the labor that went into it. We are literally throwing profits in the trash. We need to make a U-turn. So, where does that U-turn begin? It starts right at the very beginning, on the designer's drawing board. The whole shift to a circular economy really kicks off by totally rethinking the product itself, long before a single bolt is fastened or a piece of plastic is molded. Okay, so one of the most powerful tools in this new design toolbox is an idea called modularity. So instead of making things as one solid, inseparable block, you design them more like Legos, with different parts that you can easily swap out, replace, or upgrade. And the benefits of doing this are just huge. Think about it. One broken part doesn't mean you have to throw the whole thing out anymore. Can you imagine just upgrading the camera on your phone instead of buying a whole new one? It makes things last longer, repairs are a breeze, and when it's finally time to say goodbye, recycling becomes so much more efficient. Let's look at a real-world example to make this stick. Dell created this prototype laptop called Concept Luna. It's designed with almost no glue and very few screws. You can literally take it apart and swap out components in just a couple of minutes. This isn't just a win for the environment. It opens up a whole new business model built around service, repairs, and upgrades. And hey, it's not just for tech. Take a look at Patagonia and their Worn Wear program. It's just a masterclass in this stuff. They don't just sell you a jacket. They make a promise to keep that jacket going for as long as humanly possible through repairs and reselling. This builds insane brand loyalty and turns a one-time purchase into a lifelong relationship with the customer. But making a circular product, that's only half the story. The entire company has to change from the inside out. You can't just change what you make. You have to fundamentally change how your business actually operates. You know that old saying in business, what gets measured gets managed? Well, it's absolutely crucial here. In the old linear world, the main KPI, the main thing we measured, was simple. How many new boxes did we ship out the door? In a circular model, the way you measure success looks totally different. You start asking questions like, how long did our products actually last? How much material did we get back? And how much money did we make from services like repairs? And this change, man, it sends ripples through every single department. The sales team's goal suddenly isn't about one-time sales anymore. It's about keeping customers happy for the long haul. Designers get judged on how sustainable their materials are. And the service department? It goes from being a cost center to a major source of profit. It's a complete rewiring of the business. So, you've redesigned your product, you've reinvented your company, but guess what? You still can't do it alone. For this to really work, it has to be a team sport. It requires building a whole ecosystem of partners all working together. And in this new ecosystem, different companies play different roles. First, you've got the orchestrator. That's the leader, the one kind of coordinating the whole network. Then you have contributors who bring specialized materials or services to the table. Enablers are the ones building the critical infrastructure, like the systems to get products back.
And finally, you've got complementers, who make the whole system better with new tech. Every single role here is absolutely vital.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but it's a monumental change. So for any business leader out there, the million-dollar question is, when do we make the jump? How do we pull off this massive shift without, betting the entire company?
This is that classic strategic tightrope walk. On one side, you have FOMO, the fear of missing out. What if our competitors figure this out first and leave us in the dust? But on the other side, you've got FOB, the fear of being early. What if we pour millions into this before customers are even ready for it, and the whole thing flops?
The legendary strategist Jeffrey Moore actually gave us a map for this. See, new innovations are always grabbed first by a small group of visionaries. But to get to the mainstream, to the majority of people, you have to cross this huge gap he calls the chasm. And that chasm is where most brilliant new ideas go to die. To cross it, you need more than a cool concept. You need a solution that's practical and proven.
So how do you cross it? Moore suggests a strategy he calls the bowling alley. The idea is, don't try to win over the whole world at once. Instead, pick one specific, narrow market. That's your first bowling pin. Find a group where your circular idea solves a huge pain point for them. Go in, dominate that niche, and then use that momentum to start knocking over the next pin and the next. And this quote from the research really just nails it. This isn't just about being green. It's about seeing the circular economy for what it is, a strategic gateway to embracing business models that are potentially superior to their linear predecessors. It's not just a different way to do business, it's a better way. Making this happen means redesigning products, reinventing how companies work, and building brand new partnerships. The question really isn't if this is going to happen anymore. It's who is going to lead the charge. And from everything we're seeing, the companies that embrace this shift aren't just going to survive. They're the ones who are going to define what business looks like for everyone else.